As many of you know, I currently use the Gigabyte Aero 15X laptop. It's what all my Computex 2019 videos are being made on. While it's certainly not perfect, for me it's one of the best options available, which is why upon arriving at the Gigabyte suite, I was pleasantly surprised to see that the Aero had been updated to have a new design. It's not wildly different, but there are some excellent improvements. Firstly, there's now finally a 17-inch version of the Aero, as well as the 15-inch model, which is great based on how many comments I get asking for a 17-inch model. The Aero is also available in white, as well as the usual black. The lid also looks better in my opinion, with just a sleek Aero logo on the back rather than the Gigabyte one in the previous generations. The bottom of the lid also has this subtle design, while the older ones had the carbon fiber pattern there. Above the keyboard deck, we can see what I'm most interested about. There are additional air intake vents here to assist with cooling, a very welcome change considering how hot the older generations could get under heavy workloads. In addition to this, on the back there are also air exhaust vents towards the corners, again something the older Aeros did not have, as they just exhausted air below the screen. There's also a little Aero badge in the center which gets its own lighting. Underneath, the air intake vents are a little different. They look a bit bigger in the new model when compared with the old one. Unfortunately, I didn't whip out my 15X and compare them side by side. Maybe I should have. The rear feet are similar to Gigabyte's recent Aorus 15 gaming laptop, where they seem to double as blockers to prevent some of the hot air exhaust from coming straight back in. We can also see that there are air exhaust vents on the left and right sides up the back. So yeah, it's looking like a serious cooling redesign. The touchpad now has a fingerprint scanner towards the top left-hand side, something not present in older models. In terms of specs, the new Aeros are available with Intel's latest 9th gen i7 and i9 CPUs, as well as Nvidia RTX graphics going all the way up to 2080 Max-Q, though that part isn't new. I noted that I was skeptical of these specs when they were announced at CES 5 months ago, but with that improved cooling setup, we should see better performance now. Otherwise, Gigabyte are also offering the Aero with Nvidia's new 16 series graphics options too. All of this while still maintaining the large 94 watt-hour battery. The I/O is a little different on the 15 and 17-inch models. Let's first cover the 15-inch. On older models, the Aero didn't have the air exhaust vents on the sides, but now it does, so it's got a shift forward as a compromise. On the left, from the back to the front, there's a HDMI 2.0 output, USB Type-C with DisplayPort 1.4 support, USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-A port, 3.5mm audio combo jack, and the Ethernet port, which has been moved from right at the back to right at the front, which honestly looked a little strange seeing it plugged in. It would likely get in the way if you're a left-hander and use a mouse. On the right-hand side from front to back, there are two more USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-A ports, Type-C Thunderbolt 3 port, the full-size UHS-2 SD card slot remains, thank you, and the power input. I prefer the I/O layout of the new 17-inch model. It's got the Ethernet port on the left, but closer towards the back this time. Full-sized SD card slot, two USB Type-A ports, and separate 3.5mm jacks. On the right, there's a third USB Type-A port, two USB Type-C ports, one of which is Thunderbolt 3, while the other supports DisplayPort 1.4, HDMI 2.0 output, and power input. Like many other new 9th gen laptops, it's also got Wi-Fi 6, so 802.11ax, the fastest currently available. The next change is the screens. The 15-inch Aero is now available with a 4K AMOLED panel, and even in the brightly lit suite, it looked amazing. Otherwise, it's also available with a 1080p IGZO panel. The Aero 17 is available with either 1080p 144Hz, 240Hz, or an AUO 4K HDR panel. So no OLED there, which seems to be a limitation from panel manufacturers. Nose cam is still a thing, however it looks more sleek, and has a physical cover that you can block it with. So while still not ideal for those that need it, I think this is an improvement. The keyboard has also received an upgrade. The lighting was noticeably brighter, and Gigabyte say the key presses are more responsive, otherwise the layout looks the same. I'm not aware of the prices just yet, but I've been advised the 17-inch model is coming in Q3 2019. Honestly, I'm impressed they were able to fit in so many different changes while keeping the overall design so familiar. As I said earlier, the Aero 15 is my current laptop of choice, and these improvements and additions are just making it even better. With that said, I still need to wait until I get them for testing to see just how they go, so make sure you're subscribed for my full reviews. The Aero wasn't all Gigabyte had to announce at Computex this year. In an upcoming video, we'll be taking a look at what's coming to the higher-end Aorus side, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you guys thought about Gigabyte's new Aero laptops down in the comments. Right now, I'm interested in seeing how the 8-core ones hold up with the new and improved cooling system. I could use an editing laptop upgrade. And if you haven't already, get subscribed so you don't miss the rest of my Computex 2019 coverage.